What's next for Keith Thurman? We get into that next. Please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Friday's Check Hook. We're going to spend almost a whole episode on Keith One-Time Thurman. Is he still one time, or is it Runtime Thurman, or Once Upon a Time Thurman, or Less Than One Time a Year Thurman, or what should we be calling Keith Thurman today? But before we get to that, we do have some news to break down. The Andre Berto versus Devin Alexander fight, which has been scheduled and moved around, is finally going to take place on August 4th on the Peter Quillen versus Jalen Love card at the Nassau Coliseum. Again, that's on August 4th. Two fighters who have been major disappointments in their career. I had Andre Berto as just the goods. I'm going to be honest with you guys. When he burst onto the scene, when he won a world title in 2008, I believe, I thought he was going to be the man. I thought he was the future of the welterweight division, the future of the sport, the hand speed, the incredible foot speed, the power, the footwork. Really good skills. He really looked like a complete package. The hand speed, I mean, at the welterweight division, that hand speed was unique. Really good power. Big, strong, physical body. Looked like he had it all. Obviously, I was wrong. I thought he was going to replace Floyd Mayweather, as he's 7-8 years younger than him, and we would be in the midst of the Andre Berto era. I really thought that when he emerged in 2008 and 2009. He was knocking out everybody. Again, the hand speed, the skill set, looked like he could fight coming forward, going backwards. Looked like he could do it all. In the interim, he's made a liar out of me. Major disappointment. I mean, he's really been one disappointment after another. From not qualifying for the Olympic team in 2004, which he was oddly disqualified for, and then he was given another chance, and it was overturned, and then he lost again. So he really lost twice in the Olympic qualifiers, and then he fought for the Haitian team and lost in the first round. And then when he came here to the professional ranks, burst onto the scene, looked like all world, absolute shot out of a cannon, and he just fizzled. He really has no career-defining win, lots of losses, and as far as, like I thought, he was going to be the next great welterweight, the next great fighter. This just hasn't been the case. He's been extremely mediocre. I thought he'd be the guy to replace Floyd, and he may have even been the guy I thought was going to take Floyd's out. None of that came to fruition. Not at all. So let me know what you guys think. Devin Alexander was extremely hyped by HBO. He's given a huge contract, made a lot of money based off of a win against Juan Urango. Came back, looked mediocre against Katsides, I believe. And after that, he lost to Bradley, and it was all downhill from there. He has captured gold in two weight divisions, right? 140 and 147. He beat Maidana, I guess, right? He beat Maidana easily. Shut him out, basically. Got destroyed by Khan. Lost to Aaron Martinez. Lost some bad fights. And really, I mean, the highest mark of his career really was when he was 22 or 23 when he beat Urango, and it's all been downhill since. He looked better in the Ortiz fight. We scored that for Alexander by a wide margin. But, that's Victor Ortiz. I mean, that is not a world beater, to say the least. So let me know what you guys think. Were you surprised that neither Berto nor Devin Alexander the Great panned out? That neither of them had Hall of Fame careers? I mean, did you expect big things early on from either fighter? Because we really did. We look foolish now, but we thought Berto a decade ago, in 2008, 2009, really was going to be the future. And we were wrong. And we admit when we were wrong. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment below if you guys think I'm crazy for thinking Berto a decade ago was going to be the goods, and that would be in the midst of the Andre Berto era. And same thing about Devin Alexander. I know back in 2010, I guess it was, when he beat Urango, people thought that he was the goods, that he was the future, that he was unique. Max Kalman was one of those people. Max Kalman's like great offensive skill set, great jab, doesn't hold, doesn't run, but makes you miss. None of that's really panned out either. So let me know what you think about Berto, Devin Alexander, and leave your comments, your thoughts below on that, if you were disappointed by either of them. Now I want to get to the main topic today, to Keith One-Time Thurman. One-Time hasn't been in the ring since March of 2017. He has fought just one time in 2 years and just 2 times in 3 years, so we're going to call him Keith less than 1 time a year Thurman, as he fights less than once a year, believe it or not. If you go back and you remember the fight against Collazo, which was like his breakout fight, boy, that was a great fight, and he looked great in that fight, and stopping Collazo. Think of that fight all those years ago, and how good Keith Thurman looked. I got Andre Berto on the brain still. I'm sorry. Remember that Collazo fight all those years ago, where he absolutely destroyed Collazo in a great fight and looked like a world beater, looked like the future of boxing. He's fought twice since then. Granted, they were 2 good fights. He beat Garcia, and before that he beat Porter. So after he fought Collazo, he beat Porter, and then Swift Garcia. 2 good wins. No one's ever questioned Thurman's skill set. It's not about his skills. But he's fought twice since that Collazo fight, which seems like forever ago. It was 3 years ago. It was 3 years ago this July. Talk about wasting your prime. He was 26 then. He's 29 now. So those 3 prime years of your career, he's fought twice. We don't mind his pocket if he's financially secure for the rest of his life. Okay, don't fight. But it just seems weird, right? Like fighters, professional athletes don't give up those years. Those are your prime earning years. And as a professional athlete at that level, you have very, very few years relative to how long normal people work. Like, the normal person retires at 60, 65 years old. The average athlete retires, a world-class athlete retires 35, maybe 40. That's real short. That's a real short window. And you're giving up the prime years of your career, fighting less than once a year. Now, I know what a lot of you are going to say. Are you going to say he was injured? Well, let's take a look at that. Following the Collazo fight, he took a year off to fight before fighting Sean Porter, which we just passed the 2-year anniversary of. So it took off almost a full year. At 26 years old, he took off a full year. The reason being, he said it was a car accident. Okay? We had no reason not to believe him. Kenny Porter, Sean Porter's dad, said the car accident never happened and there was no injury. Not only did he not not only was he not injured, but there was no car accident. That seemed like crazy conspiracy theory at the time. Nobody believed that. That no one believed Kenny Porter. Right? That was like he was just out of his mind. He was saying Thurman just doesn't want the fight. He's not ready for the fight. And he's trying to put it off. And we were like, he got a car accident. He's fine. Keith Thurman doesn't duck anyone. Well, I'm not saying the injury or the accident was fake. I'm saying there's reason to believe now, based on a precedence, that maybe that wasn't so. Maybe he wasn't so hurt then. After that, he fought Danny Garcia. Beat Porter, beat Garcia. 2 really good fights, 2 really good wins. And he beat Danny Garcia in front of 4 million live viewers on a nationally televised free TV fight, unifying the WBC and the WBA straps. He looked like he was primed. He looked like he was primed to take over the division and be the future face of the division and possibly the sport. Loaded division, lots of good fighters, especially one guy named Errol Spence. Possible pay-per-view fights, just being a huge star. And he hasn't stepped in the ring since. Again, none of this is attack on Keith Thurman's skills. We say that he's ducked Errol Spence. We don't say he sucks. We don't think that he's got no skills, that he's not a good fighter. We think he's an excellent fighter. As a matter of fact, not that we would pick him to beat Errol Spence, but we think he has the skill set to beat Errol Spence, meaning he could beat Errol Spence. If he fought a great fight, he has the ability to beat Errol Spence. And I know a lot of you are saying that sounds crazy. Let me explain. We know what Spence is. He's a come-forward fighter, a stalker, with pretty good boxing skill. Thurman's a better athlete. Thurman has the legs to avoid him, and he has the power to sit down and stop Spence from just walking in the front door. Where Spence isn't going to just walk in and beat him up like he does to so many people. He's got the speed to stay away, he's got the speed to wear him out, and he's got the power to keep him off of him. It's a really good combination to fight Errol Spence with. Now, we would lean towards Spence in such a fight, but it's close. Thurman's got the skills, and he's shown that. Beating Collazo, beating Porter, beating Garcia. It was never a matter of questioning his skill set. It's never been a matter of that. Now, Terrence Crawford's a different story. We don't see how he beats Terrence Crawford. But outside of, if he beat Errol Spence, he'd be a megastar. He'd be in control of the division. He doesn't want the fight. Does he think he can win the fight? I have no idea. But he doesn't want that fight, and he really doesn't want any fight. We're the first ones to blast Keith Runtime Thurman as Runtime or Once Upon a Time. We've explained that he's ducking and dodging. He doesn't fight anyone. Literally, he doesn't fight anybody. He doesn't get in the ring anymore. He fights less than once a year. He's less relevant than Gary Russell Jr., who we love, who never fights. Now, Gary Russell Jr. has legitimate hand injuries, and we can get into that. But Keith Thurman, none of these injuries are career-threatening. None of them are lingering, and we'll get into all the injuries. Let's get into that. Like we said, the car accident that delayed the Sean Porter fight. We're not saying we have no information. We'd be speculating to say if it did or didn't happen. Since then, he's gotten a ton of injuries. Right? He had elbow surgery. We want to touch on that elbow surgery. Right? He had loose bodies in his elbow, which he said sidelined him. Now he's been out a year and a half. It's a relatively minor injury and surgery. This is routine stuff. Now, Keith Thurman talks about how he went to the hospital for special surgeries in Manhattan, which is the greatest orthopedic surgeon. It's regarded as the greatest orthopedic surgeon in the world. All right, you go there, you'll see athletes from all over the place, just walking around the hospital for special surgeries. All-star athletes all go there, regardless of the sport. Right? It's like there's Dr. James Andrews in Atlanta, and there's the hospital for special surgery in New York. Those are where everyone goes. So he got the best surgery that you can have. He stated this many, many times. He's basically done commercials for HSS, Hospital for Special Surgeries. So what do orthopedic surgeons and that hospital for special surgeries say about this injury? Let me read it to you. So he walks into the finest orthopedic specialists in the world. And they said, common arthroscopic procedures include treatment of tennis elbow, which is called lateral epichylius, whatever that is, and the removal of loose bodies, loose cartilage and bone fragments. Bone fragments and loose bodies. That's the exact injury Keith Thurman claims to have had. That's what he had surgery for, right? What's the recovery time for such an injury? So the place that he had the surgery, called this routine surgery, common surgery. Well, according to the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, AAOS, you may not need a splint and your range of motion and function may return after a short period of rehab. You may be able to return to work within a few days of your procedure. As far as complications, the AAOS said most patients do not experience complications from elbow arthroscopy. As with any surgery, however, there are some risks. These are usually minor and treatable and not likely to affect your final outcome. Although recovery from arthroscopic surgery is often faster than recovery time from open surgery, it may still take weeks for your elbow joints to completely recover. You can expect some pain and discomfort for at least a week after surgery. Ice is applied immediately after surgery and thereafter intermittently for 20 to 30 minutes at a time over the first week. The small incisions takes several days to heal, sometimes up to 2 weeks. Weeks. We're talking about a recovery time of weeks, according to the place that he had the surgery, which is the greatest place in the whole world to have that surgery. And the Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons said, a couple weeks you'll be fine. So both parties are saying it's a couple weeks surgery. Not for Keith Thurman, though. Not for Keith Thurman. He's been out now for a year and a half from a surgery that the doctors who performed the surgery and the hospital they had the surgery at says, no, that takes a couple weeks. That takes a couple weeks. About a year and a half. Then he comes back and he has a May 4th date set. I'm sorry, a May 5th date set. And he backs out of that. All right, he says he hurt his hand. No evidence of this. Just, I hurt my hand. 6 weeks out before the fight, month and a half before the fight, before it gets canceled, there's no opponent named, no opponent even rumored, and no tickets on sale. Now he's got a May 5th date at the Barclays against no opponent with no ticket on sale. And then he hurts his hand out of the clear blue. No, he didn't hurt his hands. He never had any intentions on making that fight. He was never going to fight on May 5th. We call that, you can go back and read the article at 3dboxingblog.com. We said he's not going to fight. He's going to come up with an injury and he's not going to fight. And that's exactly what happened. We're not here to pat ourselves on the back, but that was fairly obvious. He has no interest in fighting. So let's take a look at what we do know about Keith Thurman's series of injuries. Okay, he came back in October of last year, almost a year ago, and told the WBC that he was going to be back in January. He's going to fight 3 times in 2018, and Keith Thurman was back. Well, he said he was going to fight in January. That became late February or early March, but he was still going to fight 3 times. He said he was going to squeeze in 3 fights this year. Late February, early March became April 14th against Jesse Vargas at the Barclays. ESPN reported that fight was on. Dan Rafael reported Jesse Vargas versus Keith Thurman, April 14th at the Barclays. Well, that turned into May 5th against an unnamed opponent. We know it was an unnamed opponent, but we knew who it wasn't. We knew it wasn't Sean Porter. It wasn't Danny Garcia. It sure as hell wasn't Errol Spence. Or Jesse Vargas. Or any top 10 welterweight. So we know who it wasn't. And then that fight got called off. And then he made a date for August 4th, which still hasn't been canceled. But let me tell you about August 4th. We just talked about the fight at the Nassau Coliseum. That's 20 miles down the road from where the Barclays is. They're going to put 2 cards 20 miles away from each other? They could. Probably not. There's also a Sergey Kovalev card on the same day in Atlantic City. So we don't even have enough networks to cover all these fights anymore. That fight's not happening. The Keith Thurman fight's not happening. We're a month out. We're 4 weeks out. Less than a month out. We're 4 weeks out from that date. There's no opponent name, no tickets on sale, and 2 other fights going on in the same exact area. One 20 miles down the Belt Parkway. Couple exits down the Belt Parkway, there's another world title fight. And a fight in Atlantic City. So, one metropolitan area, 3 fights on the same night. No, I can tell you one's not happening, and I can tell you the one that's not happening. Keith Thurman's not fighting on August 4th. So that's another date. Does he fight at all this year? He was rumored to have fight Josecito Lopez. That was the name that was thrown out. He ain't fighting Josecito Lopez. Josecito Lopez is a decent fighter, right? He's a pro, but he's an opponent. No one would expect Lopez to win that fight. He would show up and count for himself okay. That's about it. He won't even take that fight. And Lopez now said, I'm not waiting around for him. Look, God bless Keith Thurman. Whatever he wants to do, you do it. You want to go play the flute in Japan? Go do it. You never want to fight again? Don't fight again. Right? But the WBA is now, the WBC has already stripped him, and the WBA, it's rumored, don't quote us on this, but there's rumors floating around that if Thurman doesn't take the August 4th date, that the WBA is going to strip him. Well, he's not making the August 4th fight. Does anyone on this planet think he's going to take the August 4th date? No, he's not taking the August 4th date. So this is a comeback now that's been pushed back almost a year, right? He said in October he's going to be back in January. Well, from last October, he hasn't fought since. And it may look like he may not fight until next October, the earliest, because he's not fighting on August 4th. And what kind of hand injury is this? I mean, this must be the worst hand injury in the history of hand injuries after having the worst orthoscopic surgery on your elbow in the history of orthoscopic surgery. Right? You went to the finest hospital in the world, and that hospital said it's a couple weeks. The AAOS, the Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, said a couple weeks. You've been out a year and a half? What went wrong? What went wrong at the greatest hospital in the world that set you back like this? You know, if he doesn't want to fight, he doesn't want to fight. That's completely up to him. But to sit here and say that he has all these injuries, no one is buying it. Not for a second. Three times in 2018. Well, it's going to be August, and he hasn't fought at all. So he's going to fight once this year. Maybe. Living up to his name, one time a year Thurman. It's hard to imagine any professional athlete at that level loses his heart entirely. And we're still putting him back at this level where he's going to dominate again, and he's going to be better than Garcia and better than Porter, and we're putting him in the ring with Spence and them and Crawford, and how would we do with those guys? Don't you have to kind of question his heart? You know, in a sport where your heart and determination can carry you so far, and without it you can't go anywhere, does he really want to do this anymore? It's worth asking. And this isn't just about Keith Thurman wasting our time as fans and lying to us, which he is. I mean, he's gone pathological at this point. He's not fighting. Look, if you want to retire, retire. If you want to take a year off, take a year off. Floyd Mayweather took a year and a half off twice. Right after he beat Mosley, he took a year and a half off, and after he beat Hatton, before that, he took a year and a half off. Okay, but he said he was going to do that, and he didn't say every 6 months he was going to come back. He didn't hold the press conference saying, "I'm going to come back." He's like, "I made a ton of money. I'm going to enjoy the fruits of my labor." Okay, fine. Look, you're not on an NBA team, you're not on a Major League Baseball team or an NFL team. This is about you. You don't have teammates. Or you don't have to show up to camp with your teammates. This is all about you. You don't want to have a fight? Don't fight. You want to take some time off? Take some time off. Andre Ward took time off. Mikey Garcia took time off. Take time off. Peter Quillen took time off. Take time off. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. But just tell us what you want. So this is not about you wasting our time or lying to us, right? This is about you wasting the prime of your career. Do you want to fight or not? If you don't, that's fine. But you've wasted away now. In your 3 prime years, 26, 29, the absolute prime years of your athleticism, you fought twice. We don't mind your pocket. Maybe you're financially secure and you don't need to fight. Okay, fine. But if you do want to fight, why aren't you doing it? You haven't fought at all. Is Keith Thurman done? Will we ever see Keith Thurman again? If so, will he ever get back to the level of a top 5 or 6 pound-for-pound fighter? Because that's where he was. That's where he was. He was top 5, 6 pound-for-pound on everyone's list. We had him as high as 5 at 3D Boxing. Check out the website, 3dboxingblog.com. We have an article comparing Keith one-time Thurman to Kawhi Leonard of the San Antonio Spurs, we guess, depending if he ever wants to play again either. Similar scenario. Really interesting piece on those two. And remember to like and subscribe. Leave your comments below. Help us, leave your comments below. Let us know what you think about Keith Thurman. Will we see him again? And will we see him again at the same level? Or is a piece of him gone with this layoff? And is his heart and motivation gone? Let us know below. Please remember to like and subscribe. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you, and God bless.
Enjoy 3D Boxing Vlog videos? Show us some love by clicking the like button. Don't miss a tweet, post, story, or video. 3dboxingvlog.com is also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit the subscribe button now to stay inside the ring.